There's always a story. But I found this rather incredibly cute pair of mother-in-law and daughter-in-law that instead of fighting, they throw jokes at each other. That was very unusual. So I was invited to their house for this recent Navaratri. And very barely could make that time, and ran in as they were serving. So the daughter-in-law comes forward and says, everything that you taste and it turns out to be that you liked it is what I have cooked, and that which you did not like, she made it. So ego is the one who loves to stake claim on everything done, not done, for its own benefit. And I call this as a very malicious entity. A malicious entity like the virus in the system. When you identify this virus, say on your computer system, what do you do with it? First, you have to run the virus scanners. And once you run those scanners, McAfee, Norton, AVG, I don't know what else. There are a lot of those products. And once you identify, once that software scans them, identifies them, what does the software do? It quarantines them. And then it takes up the process of eliminating them from the system. This ego is such a malicious virus in the system that it adapts to any process, however good or however bad, any process that it adapts itself for its survival and sustenance, including those processes which were supposed to eliminate them. I didn't even touch it. Okay. There are various processes that we do, we invoke to tackle this ego in the name of spirituality and sadhana. What are the various processes that are invoked to tackle this ego that you are aware of? Meditation. Somebody said something. Do you think a sannyasi doesn't have an ego? Ayyo. Okay, sannyas. Okay, I take that as well. Satsang, japa, puja, swadhyaya, all these different processes are invoked to remove that ego. Now that he brought that sannyasa aspect, I'll take that as an example instead of mocking at anybody else. Once I was traveling in a train and there happened to be another sadhu right across. So we both did namaskar, chamatkar to each other. And he had an entourage of people, like at least 8-9 people along with him. And I came in and I sat down, put in my luggage, and he was little perplexed. And he said, "Tumhare bhaktgan kahan hai? Where are your devotees?" And I said, "Alak Niranjan, I am only one. So you don't travel with your devotees?" I said, "No." "What kind of an organization, what kind of a sadhu are you?" I said, "Okay." And then he introduced about himself and he said that he had devotees in about 8 different countries, and he had in these many lakhs of devotees. And I said, though you may not be traveling with devotees, how many devotees do you have? I said, in Chinmay Mission, we don't function that way. It is to the organization and to the Guru Parampara. I said, Shunya. So he thought I was very new into this sannyas. Abhi abhi sannyas liye ho ka? Must be from, that Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, that area. His Hindi was that way. And he said, so you have taken sannyas recently? I said, nahi. 15-16 साल हो गए, 15-16 years. 15-16 years and you still don't have any devotees? I said, no. तुम महात्मा नहीं हो सकते. You are not a Mahatma then. See, we have taken the path to give up the identity of ego. And even in that path, we create the identity of being a sannyasi and a Mahatma. And how is that evaluated? The number of devotees, the number of ashrams, the number of things that you have as assets, that prompts you up as. So after everybody slept, he was still there, we were talking, and he was into this Shastrartha. Shastrartha is, pick up some scripture and different perspectives, different kinds of commentaries, and then fortunately or unfortunately, he was from, we both were from different traditions. He was from a Vishishtadvaita and I was from the Advaita. I said, chalo Shastrartha karte hain. And he was into that. So I waited until everybody slept. And then I said, on that day when you take sannyasa, what are the mantras that you chant? So there are particular mantras. There is this Nasadiya Sutra, then there is Agamarshana Sutra. There are various sutras that are chanted. You are supposed to do a penance for about a month. At least if not month, 5 days penance. So after that 5 days penance, you chant it. Un mantron par vichar karte hain. Let's do Shastrartha on that. Making sure that all his devotees, otherwise they would jump on me and I was single-handed, cannot defend myself. I said, I'll let them sleep and we'll have word game. I said, okay, chalo karte hain. And the very first mantra that it talks about is Enas Tejasi Tatyaja. That by which you are trying to give up everything, that individuality, drop that individuality as well. And then I said, whether you are a Vishishtadvaiti, Dvaiti, Nimbarka, Advaita, whoever you are, whatever is your relationship with that God, shouldn't that ego be merged? And I said, ha. Then who is it that is claiming to be a Mahatma and carrying the pride of having these many devotees? And the moment it hit him and there was a pause, and I said, now is my time to pick. Until then he was picking on me. Then I started picking on him, saying that this whole life that we are supposed to have taken is to be dedicating for a sole purpose of annihilating that ego. But instead, even if that path is taken to promote the ego and sustain and substantiate that ego, the whole purpose is down the drain. It is that malicious, that ego, that people take into competitive spirit about how many hours of sadhana. I meditate for 3 hours. How many hours do you meditate? Who is it that is competing? Who is it that wants to compare? Isn't it that ego? I can understand how many houses you have, how many rotis you eat, or how many cars you have, how much gold that you have. That is something that you usually compare and fight for. How many hours you meditate, that also has to be competed. But the sadness is that this ego does not want to give in or give up, even in the field of sickness or illness. Have you ever observed that when you tell somebody that last 2 days I've been having this migraine, it is killing me. So the other person, usually my observer is, what are you talking about? Your migraine. I had it for 7 days once, last time, and that was even more terrible than what you're going through. Alright? In wealth you compete, I understand. In health you compete, I understand. In assets you compete, I understand. Even in sickness, how sick is that? Then to bring home the point that the ego in itself, is it a possibility that we can lead a life wherein every action can be performed without that ego involved in? Is it even possible? Have you ever done anything where there was no ego involved? Think about it. I've given a couple of examples. It doesn't matter if I repeat it. Volunteer in schools and temples. The children also are given that opportunity. What is it? National. There's some volunteer thing, right? National Honor Society. That also is only left out to become a certification. That at the end of the day, to get it signed, so that I can get that certificate. Even in those platforms, if somebody gets recognized, it's not that I've gone there for recognition, it is for my offering myself a service. If somebody gets recognized and I don't get recognized, what happens? Turmoil, a turbulence inside. What? They have given more money, therefore they are getting credit. I have been also giving, I will also been dedicating my time. It takes its uglyhood again. A simple example I'll take. You are standing in a line and the person, the lady in front of you, in line for coffee, takes out her wallet from the purse, pays, and while putting it back, that wallet she thought was into the purse but falls down and doesn't make a note of it. What do you do? What's that? Never pick it up and give it to them. Very recently, somebody in a wallet, this is our own mission member, their wallet fell down and I picked it up and gave it. And this fellow, instead of thanking me or taking it, he says, "Arey Swami ji, aapne kab udaya? When did you pick my pocket?" I said, "Had kar di yaar. I'm trying to be genuine here, and then you blame me again saying that I must have picked your pocket." So since then, my advice to such example would be never pick it up. Instead, tap on their shoulder. Is that yours? If so, go pick it up. You don't even deserve it to be picked up and given. Go pick it up. Jao. At that point, when you are pointing at that wallet and ask them to take care of it, Is there a egotistic hidden agenda in it? That because I am helping that lady, now I'm standing right behind, maybe she can end up paying as a paid forward pay for my coffee as well. Is there any expectation? No, right? Even if that lady said thank you, they said no big deal. Come on, move out so that I can order. There is no expectation there. So there are instances wherein we do perform actions wherein there is no ego involved. So it is a possibility. And Bhagwan, okay, before I go to Bhagwan, have we gone through the 5th chapter last year? Right, till the 10th shloka or something? Right. So we have covered this particular topic. Bhagwan takes it to the next level. He says in the 8th, 9th and 10th shloka, he says, Pashyan shrunvan sprushan jigran ashnan gachan swapan swashan pralapan visrujan grinhan unmishan nimishan napi. That all these different actions that are performed through the organs of perception and action, Pashyan, you open your eyes and see. In the seeing process, is there an ego involved? Is it like, I have to open my eyes and then see, scan through everyone, perceive everything, and then is there an effort, or is there a egotistical platform of hidden agenda, of expectations or anything happening? Or as soon as I open my eyes, seeing happens? What I end up doing with what I see can become an egotistical warfare. But seeing as such, is there any ego involved? I hear. After hearing and processing and evaluating what the other person has said or not said, I may have a battle of war with regards to my ego. But hearing as such, is there an ego involved? Breathing, shwasan, unmishan, nimishan, no. Shwasan, to inhale and exhale. Is there an ego involved? Do you know? I breathe. And the other person says, what are you talking? I also breathe. How many in a second? I beat you by 1. Do you ever compete? Does that even come into picture of competition? I digest. Is there a competition? There is no competition for all these bodily activities. 90% of various interactions that happen, more than 90%, are the interactions of these organs of perception action where there is no ego involved. That minute percentage of life wherein I stake my claim and become egotistical, that is the one which becomes so overwhelming that it creates turbulence in the rest of the life. The rest of the life we can see that about 90% it is egoless existence. Seeing, hearing, breathing. Do we brag about? Don't do that in my class. पता है पिछले 1 घंटे से सो रहा था. Last 1 hour I have been sleeping. There is nothing to brag about. Because there is no egotistical investment in it. These are the acts that happen without the ego involved. And only about few percentage of our life experiences which involve that ego takes a toll on us. It turns our life upside down. And that is where we have to focus. How to focus? That is given in the 11th shloka, where we start with the actual study. So please bring your books from next week so that we can follow along. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.